Hello everybody and welcome back to PC Tech Stream. In this video we are gonna see how to install and configure Windows Server 2008 R2 for your first domain controller. Before we begin this installation, just make sure that your computer is gonna boot up from the CD-ROM and detect the Windows 7 DVD. Okay, let's get started. As you can see, the CD-ROM is gonna be the first one to boot up. I'm gonna exit up, say yes. As you can see, Windows is loading the files. As you can see, the first page that you are gonna see is all about the language. So you can select the language, the time, format, and the keyboard, right? So after you select your choice, we are gonna click on next. In this page we have three options, right? The first one is just to go right ahead and run the installation. The second one is like if you need to know more about how to install this operating system, right? So you can read a little bit more. When you finish, you can close this out. Next, if you already have a Windows Server 2008 operating system in this computer, you can click on this link, to try to repair the operating system if you have any problems. So just in case we are not here for this, because we just need to install the operating system, I'm gonna close this up and go back to the installation. After we click on install now, you are gonna see that the Windows is starting. In the select the operating system you want to install, you have the option to select the versions of Windows that you need to install. As you can see, I only have two versions of Windows Server in this DVD, simply because this is a custom DVD that I created to myself, just to show only two versions, which are the full installation and the server core installation. If you want to learn how to create a single DVD with all the versions of Windows 7 and Windows Server 2008 R2, you can watch one of my other videos where I explain a step by step on how to create these custom DVDs. Let me show you an example of how these custom installation DVDs look like. As you can see, I have this DVD with all the versions of Windows 7, including the architecture x86 and the 64-bit versions, right? If I scroll down on this DVD, you are gonna see that I have all the versions of Server 2008 R2 with the x64 architecture. So these DVDs are really cool because you don't have to have a single DVD for a single operating system. You're gonna have the full package in just one DVD. Now that you have an idea of how these custom DVDs looks like, we are gonna go back to the installation, and for this demonstration I'm going to select the Server 2008 R2 Enterprise full installation, and then we are gonna click on next. From here you just need to read a little bit more or check this box and then click on next. In the type of installation we have two options. First, we can upgrade. Second, you can just install a new copy of Windows. Just because we do not have an operating system in this computer, we are not going to be able to choose this option, but we are going to click on install a new copy of Windows. In this part of the installation, we just need to select a partition to install the operating system. Just in case if you do not see your hard drive in this list, you got the option to refresh, and see if the hard drive is gonna show up, or if the hard drive is not really compatible with Windows Server 2008, you are gonna have to load the drivers, right? So in here you're gonna browse for the drivers in your computer or in an external source and install the drivers. But in this case, my hard drive is okay and I do not have to install any drivers. Yes, let me go back. As you can see, we only have one hard drive in this computer, and the name is unallocated space. Total size is 40 gigabytes. Free space is 40 gigabytes, and we do not have any type because this is a new hard drive, right? So what we need to do right now is to make a partition to this hard drive by clicking on new, and we are going to split it into two parts. One for the operating system, and the second one is gonna be for the data that you put into this server computer. For the first partition, we are gonna have 20 gigabytes, right? And then we are gonna click on apply. In here, Windows have to make an extra partition for the system files, just to make sure that all the features are gonna be working properly. So that's not a problem. We just click OK and keep going with the installation. As you can see, Windows just created our primary partition and an extra one for the system files. Then we are gonna go to the next partition, which is gonna be the 20.5 gigabytes that we have in here. We are gonna click on new and use the rest of the hard drive. We are gonna apply, and then we have the new partition. Okay, just let me go over this and explain it to you. As you know that the first one is gonna be for the system files, the second one is gonna be for the operating system, and the last one is gonna be to store any data that you put into this server. It doesn't have to be like 40 gigabytes for the installation. You can use any size that you want, as long as the operating system is gonna be compatible with the size of your hard drive. If you are not happy with the partition that you just created, you can always delete it. Just select the partition and press delete. You can extend it to add this partition to another hard drive, or you can just format it. We have two options. We can do it manually, or we can let Windows do it for us. For this demonstration, I'm going to let Windows to format the partition where we are going to install the operating system. Then we just need to click on next. As you can see, Windows is expanding the compressed files. This installation is gonna take a few minutes, so we just need to wait. Now Windows is gonna restart this computer. Windows is updating the registry settings, starting the services, and completing with the installation. And finally, we need to create a new password and log on into this server computer for the first time. My new password is ready. But before we log on into this server computer, we have the option, to create a password reset disk. You can store this password into a flash drive or a floppy disk, right? So all you have to do is click on next, select the drive, and then you click next. Then you type the current user account password. So that's all you have to do. Let's go back and log on into this server computer. Okay, your password has been changed. Now we're gonna click OK. And And this is the first page that you are going to see, every time that you log on into a server computer for the first time. Okay, all we have to do right now is to configure this server and make it ready to become a domain controller for our first domain. The first option that we have is to activate Windows. So if you have the product key, you just type it up and you are ready to go, right? But in this case, I'm gonna cancel this and use my 30 days free trial from Microsoft. We're gonna go to the next option, which is gonna be set time zone. From here, we got the options to set up the date and time just by clicking on change date and time. You can see you can set it up from here, and also you can set up the time zone by clicking on change time zone. We can set it up, in depending, in the place that you are or in the countries that you are living, right? So we're gonna go back and go to the next one, which is gonna be additional clocks. If you didn't know, in Windows Server 2008 R2 you have the option to set up two clocks, right? 1 and 2. This is optional, if you want to have more than one clock in your server computer. But if you see that this is too complicated, just leave it alone. So we are gonna go to the next step, which is gonna be internet time. From here you can synchronize this server computer with the internet. You got the options to go to the server's computer from Microsoft or from any government computer. So whenever you're ready, you just click on update now. If you feel like you don't want to synchronize your computer with the internet, so you just uncheck this box and you can do it manually. So this is pretty much all for the internet time settings. So let's go back and we're gonna click OK. Now we need to configure the network card for this computer by clicking on configure networking. We are going to right click, go to properties, and we are going to select the version 4. If you don't use the version 6, you can uncheck this box. This is not gonna have any problem with this computer. It is okay to uncheck it. Let's go to the number 4 and click on properties. Then as you can see, we are getting an automatic IP address, which is a dynamic. It's gonna change all the time, and in order for us to make this computer a domain controller and a DNS at the same time, we have to have an static IP address. Okay, as you can see, I just went ahead and set up the IP address, the subnet mask, the default gateway, and the DNS server. Let's go and see what we have in advanced settings. In IP settings, we have the options to input IP addresses manually, right? You can edit if you want. Right now we do not have any, I don't select it, but if we do this, we select and edit, you can, change anything that you want. You can remove it. The same thing is going to apply for the default gateways. For the DNS, let's say that if you have an extra DNS in your network, you can add it up right over here. You can edit and you can remove it. You can also, set up the IP addresses in order of use. For example, if you have more than one DNS in this list, you can, put it down or put it up, in order of use. And the same thing is going to be for the DNS suffix. You can put it up, you can put it down according to whatever you have in here. You can add it, edit, and remove it. So let's go to the WINS. WINS is like DNS, but WINS is like the old faction of DNS. This is the new technology and this is the old technology. That we do not really use this WINS in the new network. But just in case that you need it, you just click add and you can add your wins. Okay, let me go back, and then we are gonna click OK. We just need to close the local area connection properties, and then we are gonna close this up. Next, we are going to rename this computer, right? As you can see, this is the name that I have, and I belong to a work group, right? So we are going to rename this computer by clicking on provide computer name. Then we are gonna click on change and type the new computer name. The new computer name is gonna be PC TechStream DC1. DC1 means domain controller number 1. You can put any name that you want. This is all up to you. So just in case if you are part of a domain, you can join this computer to a domain. But we are not gonna do that because this is gonna be the domain controller. So we don't need to join this computer to another domain. Okay, so right now we are gonna keep it in a work group and restart this computer. We just need to click OK. Now we need to restart this computer by clicking OK and then restart now. We're ready to log in again into this server computer. And you can see that for the computer information we have the time zone, the local area network connection IP, and the new computer name. And we are still part of the work group. Next, we are gonna go to the second part, which is gonna be update this server by clicking on enable automatic updating and feedback. Right from here we have the options to enable Windows automatic updating and feedback. It is up to you. You just need to choose the best option for you. You can do it manually or you can do it automatic from Microsoft. For this demonstration we are gonna click on manually and see what are the features that we have in this option. Let's see what we have in the first option for automatic updating. We are gonna click on this, change settings. In the important updates option, we have 4 choices. You can install updates automatically, download updates, but let me choose whether to install them. Check for update, but let me choose whether to download and install them. Or you can just select never check for updates. Not really recommended, but if this is your choice you can select this one. For this demonstration we are gonna select this one, check for updates, but let me choose whether to download and install them. In this way, if we really need the updates, we are gonna download it. If we don't need it, we are gonna leave it alone. Also you have the options, if you select a different one, like for the automatic, you got the options to install in a day and time that you want. But let me go back to this option. For recommended updates, we are going to check this box and uncheck this one because you want only administrator to install the new updates. So let's go and click OK. Now let's see what we have in Windows error reporting. In here we have 4 options to choose from. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? We can automatically send details or a summary to Microsoft, about any error that happened in your computer. But you have, the other one, which is, ask me about sending reports every time an error occurs. Finally, we have these options, to not to participate in this program. For this demonstration, we are gonna choose this one and click OK. customer experience is gonna be next. Right now we are not participating. We are gonna click on here and see what is going on. Basically, this is just a program from Microsoft. They want to collect information on how you use the server operating system, right? This is just to improve their product, to improve Windows, to improve the server's operating system. So it is up to you if you want to participate or not. So in this case, for this demonstration I will not participate right now and click OK. Then we just need to close this because we got all the settings for each one. Next, we are gonna go to download and install updates. As you can see, we do not have any updates from Microsoft, simply because this is a brand new operating system. But we are going to check for updates right now. Now we have 53 important updates available and 2 optionals. So let's see what are they. Wow, that's a lot of updates that we have right here. You see, this is why it is good idea to choose the option to check for updates, but let me choose whether to download and install them. From here you got the option to uncheck the ones that you don't need, or just check the ones that you really want. For this server computer, just because this is gonna be the domain controller, it is really recommended to install all of them. So this is what I am going to do. I'm gonna click OK to install all of them and then install updates. We accept, we click on finish. Now we have the latest updates from Microsoft. All we have to do right now is to close this initial configuration and move up to the next step, which is gonna be the server manager. Okay, let's go and close. Okay guys, if you really need to know how to install Active Directory domain services for your first domain controller, please watch one of my other videos where I explain a step-by-step on how to configure Active Directory for your first domain controller. But after watching this video, you are gonna be ready to install and configure Windows Server 2008 R2 for your first domain controller. So this is what this video is all about installing and configuring Windows Server 2008. Okay guys, this is pretty much all for this tutorial, and thank you for watching my videos. Just don't forget to check my website and my 2 channels on YouTube. Thank you.